What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. So today is travel day. We are actually on the way out of town. I'm gonna stop and get some food from Jersey Mike's, of course, because best subs in town. Take a stop at the town pump, get a couple energy drinks, and then we're off to Great Falls. Quite a bit shorter drive today. We only got about 3 to 3.5 hours. It's all 2-lane highway though, so if it was all interstate, man, it'd go a lot faster. So anyway, I'm gonna make a few stops here and then we'll get on the road. I'm actually gonna combine today's travel log with practice for later. The bowling center is actually gonna be putting out the tournament pattern for practice starting today between 3 and 5 p.m. So I should be in Great Falls 3:30-ish, somewhere around there. So I should have plenty of time to get there, throw some balls on the pattern and see what we're dealing with. Catch you guys in a little while. Unfortunately, today's trip is going to be driving through a lot of the flatland of Montana. You know, we're not really going to get that close to the mountains, so the drive's going to be a little bit more boring. So unfortunately, when you're traveling through Montana on 2-lane highways, you get a lot of this. So we've got one semi here in this string of traffic, and the cars ahead of me are not willing to pass that semi. So that usually results in not being able to travel the speed limit. Lots of fun. Guys, so since today's going to be a pretty boring drive, for me anyway, you guys just get to sit there and watch. You know, something came up that I thought I'd like to discuss and, you know, get your guys' opinions and comments down in the comment section. So, does CG matter on a symmetrical bowling ball? That seems to be the question of, I guess, the month right now. There's a lot of YouTube videos going around right now about people trying to prove or disprove one way or the other. And I just wanted to share my own personal opinion. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I do enjoy Mo Pinnell's content on YouTube before he passed away, unfortunately. You know, he was a wizard when it came to bowling balls and the science and the physics behind, you know, layouts, reactions, and everything that occurs to a bowling ball or happens to a bowling ball as it goes down the lane. And so I definitely agree with his statement of, on a drilled bowling ball, CG does not matter. At least it does not matter enough to make really that big of a difference. And, you know, if you go back to the time when balance holes were allowed, well, CG definitely didn't matter at that point because the balance hole was the biggest factor in ball motion. You know, now that balance holes have been outlawed by the USBC, basically what's going to make the biggest difference in ball reaction, in my opinion anyway, is the surface on your bowling ball. You know, after that, you've got the cover stock. After that, you've got the core. As far as the CG is concerned, to be honest, unless you're throwing the ball really, really slow, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. And actually, J.R. Raymond is another YouTuber that I follow quite a bit, and I do watch quite a bit of his videos. But he released a video recently where he was basically showing how CG affects an undrilled bowling ball as it's rolled off of a ramp down the lane. And, you know, definitely in that particular situation, yes, CG does matter on an undrilled ball when it's thrown at a very slow rate of speed. So, but anyway, if you watch Mo Pinnell's content on YouTube, one of the last videos, or one of the most recent videos that came out from him, is they took a symmetrical bowling ball, undrilled, and they spun it on a determinator. And the determinator, of course, went straight to the CG on the bowling ball. And then they put holes in the ball. As soon as they put holes in the ball, it spun over the thumb hole, which his whole point is that is what eliminates the effect of CG, because then the bowling ball is going to spin over the biggest hole in the ball. In that case, it would usually be the thumb, if you're a thumb-in bowler. As far as two-handers are concerned, as long as the two-handers have the hole drilled to a certain depth, I think it was like 3 inches or something like that, then the ball would spin around the fingers. So anyway, just something to think about, something to discuss in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Most interesting scenery that we'll see is windmills on the way to Great Falls. Lots of windmills. Alright guys, well we made it to the bowling alley, so we're going to head inside and get some practice in. Now, I'm probably going to practice for about an hour. You know, I want to get enough shots in to kind of have an idea of what the pattern's going to play like. I have no idea what we're bowling on, so yeah, this should be exciting. Let's go see what we got. So I'm doing the summary after practice. You know, it was just really too loud in the bowling alley in order to talk in camera and have you guys be able to hear me without too much background noise. So anyway, we started practicing, you know, playing up the outside. We tried going up 5 board with urethane, and that told me right off the bat that we were dealing with a longer oil pattern for sure, because the urethane ball essentially hydroplaned the entire length of the lane. And there's a little bit of reaction at the back, but not much. Now, I had my urethane ball at 500 grit, so that added to it, I'm sure. But yeah, urethane, not a good idea. We tried some shots on the 5 board with a few other balls before I decided to migrate left. We tried a few symmetrical pearls, tried a few symmetrical solids, and it just seems like the symmetrical equipment was not shaping quite well enough. You know, it wasn't turning the corner hard enough. So yeah, that's what it's like on the outside part of the lane. It also seems like the pattern's pretty flat. There's not a lot of miss room. The outside's very oily, so if you miss right, it's gone. It's either going to be in the gutter or it's going to be through the 6-pin. So yeah, I'm going to move left and we'll see what we got, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15 board area. Okay, so we moved in, we found the friction finally. The friction seems to be right around the 13 board, 12, 13, you know, and it seems to be right around that 44, 45 foot mark. So the first ball I grabbed actually from that line was my strong asymmetric solid, Show Me the Money. And, you know, it shaped really nicely. I actually was able to move with that ball a little bit and it still shaped into the pocket. So it's looking pretty good. Now at this point what we're going to do is we're going to go through my arsenal and try and figure out, you know, what balls work on a fresh or mostly fresh shot and what balls we might be needing to migrate to as the pattern opens up. So, you know, since we're dealing with a longer oil pattern, it's probably 45 feet, somewhere around there. When this breaks down, it's going to force people inside really quick. And you know, the tough part about it is if you don't have the right ball and you miss right, I mean, it's not coming back because there's too much oil on the outside. So time to go through the arsenal and figure out what balls will work and what balls won't. So, I'm feeling pretty good after practice. As far as all my equipment that I brought with me, it seems like the symmetrical balls are the ones that just, they're not working. Most of my symmetrical balls are drilled, pin up, fairly strong pin to PAPs, and I think what's going on with them is they're just not retaining enough energy as they're going down the lane to turn the corner at the end of a 45-foot pattern. Honestly, the only symmetrical ball that gave me a decent look, really, and actually was one of the better looks from the inside part of the lane, was a short pin to PAP Fantasy Star that I have, that I sometimes use. It's a 2.5-inch pin to PAP, and I mean, that ball, it retained energy really well, and it was strong and powerful. And that was, I was standing 30, throwing like 18, hitting 13 at the break point with that ball, and it was striking hard. So pretty much in my bag, what I've got for the lineup is my Show Me the Money asymmetric solid. I'm going to start with that. As a backup, just in case that's not shaping right, I've got my pin down Big Bro Jacked solid asymmetric ball. So those would be my two starting balls. And then as far as my transition balls, I've got my Fantasy Star short pin to PAP, and I've got my Incredible Hero 5x5x2 pin up, which is going to give me a little bit smoother overall shape. I've also got my urethane, which I'm keeping. The urethane just doesn't seem like it's in play no matter where you threw it. The thing with the urethane ball is, again, it's not a reactive enough ball to really pick up and go through the pins on such a long oil pattern. I tried playing way out with surface, didn't work. I smoothed the surface up to 3,000 to 4,000 grit, and I moved left, and I tried to play up 13, up 15, and even though I could get it in the pocket, it wouldn't strike. So really, I'm just keeping my urethane ball in the bag as, I guess a comfort type thing. The other thing is I can potentially use it as a spare ball if I need to, because it is a long oil pattern, and some spares you might need something more than a plastic ball, because you might need that little bit of hook at the end. So I'm going to have that urethane ball just in case. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got my balls lined out that I'm going to use tomorrow. Now all we have to do is worry about executing. So anyway guys, thanks for joining me for today's vlog. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and please click on the notification bell so you get future content notifications, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the tournament.